So welcome to the Node.js package maintenance team meeting for August 31st, 2023. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the agenda that was created in the issue in the meeting repo. That issue is 575. But before we jump into that, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share? Okay, no announcements this week. And so on to the issues that were tagged. So the first one is the impactful status board. We don't have Darcy, so I don't think there's an update, and I know that's a longer running thing, so I think I'll just say no updates unless somebody has one.
I think the last week was, he said, or last meeting, he said that he's trying to get it done by the collab summit in September. So Probably just waiting for that, and he'll have something hopefully ready. We can jump to the next one probably.
Yep, sounds good. So the next one is create doc on how to support ESM and CommonJS when publishing modules. 542. I think Jordan, you'd commented that you were going to take a look at some initial text for that.
Yeah, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, okay. But it is still on my plate but somebody else is more than welcome to get to it sooner.
If I can ask about that, is this document going to be like docs added to Node.js's website? Is this going to be like a OpenJS Foundation blog post? Is it going to be living in a repo? Like where is it going?
I don't think we've decided that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it depends on what the document looks like and who likes it and doesn't.
Cool.
But I'm intending to sort of write it as a forget the term, a question tree of like, what are the, like, basically asking what are the things you care about, and then like, here are, based on that answer, here are the considerations, and then to try and remove editorializing from like, you should do this or that, you should have these things, you should care about these things, because obviously I have opinions there, as do other people, but it's more like, once you've told me what you care about, then I'm going to tell you this is how you should achieve that. And I think my intuition is that will avoid the landmines of like people who care about different stuff getting angry, because all they have to do is make sure that the path to the things they care about is unbiased, and that the advice for the things they care about makes sense. And I think that
makes sense.
So the scope is like, I am a module author versus I am an app author versus I am a framework author, something like that. And I want to support ESM and CommonJS, or I want to support just ESM, or I want to support just CJS.
It's less going to be about that, because people shouldn't. I don't think that it's useful to have a desire at the beginning of what formats you want to support. It's more like, I'm going to make a package and I only care about Node, or I also want to support Node and Deno and Bun and other server runtimes, or I want to support Node and browsers, right? Like it's like, think about your target environments and like your use cases, and at that point, then it would lay out the trade-offs of that. Like, if you choose something, because like, whether you support, like, to support a user who is using ESM or CJS, you would publish CJS. But if there may be reasons why you want to do dual publishing, and there may be reasons why you don't want to support the users using CJS, but it's really more about like, I mean, I clearly haven't like thought this out to the point where I've written it down, but it's, I want to try and get away from the idea that like, because there's a lot of people that'll just have something stuck in their head, like, well, I want to use ESM. And that has nothing really to do with what your package ends up being. That you can use ESM like 100 different ways, but like, the important thing is how you set things up so that your package works the way serves the audiences you expect. And
like, I think what I'm understanding from what you're saying is, it's like, you can say like, this is what I care about. I care about, these people being able to use my package, for example. Once you've got that, you can then get into that tree that says, well, I only care about this. Okay, so you don't actually need any guidance because you could just do one of them. Or yes, I've decided that I care about some constituency, and I think it's good to have that explained, like why would you or why wouldn't you, like, but I'm in this case, I needs both. And maybe there's several of those cases, like, it's in this case version 1, in this case version 2, and there could actually be different guidance on how to support them both in that. But then once you've taken that out, it's like, we're not telling you what you should believe, but if you've gotten yourself into the state where you want to do both, here's some guidance on how to do it. Because that's where I think the people, it's not a discussion. We're not waiting to the questions whether you should or not. It's like, if you are in this state, here's the guidance we can give you in terms of what's helpful.
Okay, cool. I'm also reminded
Yeah,
of this
like,
lovely thread.
yeah, I mean, that I would hope that everybody who's got opinions about module formats will find a way to route themselves to something that they agree with.
Cool.
Right, like, and that the trade-offs of wherever they end up are clear and unarguable. Right, you can choose not to care about them, but like, they're there, positives and negatives.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. Okay, so still in your backlog, good. And then the status update on PKGS create.
Same as previous, basically just well, I guess with new information is the package interop metadata group exists now in OpenJS Foundation, which we weren't originally intending on that existing until after the package JSON research was done. But now that it does exist, I think it's cool that we could probably formally move some of this work over there. But I will let Wes own that still for a little bit. I do intend on finally doing some of that package JSON research, which we were considering as sort of underpinning some of this track. The hard part is obviously just time. It's on the backlog and it's somewhat low priority as compared to other things that creep up. But I'm hoping to just sort of do what I've done in the past, where I literally just schedule time to knock out a couple things, and ideally it'll get that. It's the ball isn't rolling yet, so the first push is always the hardest. As soon as it's rolling, it should probably be a lot quicker. So looking forward to that, and ideally that'll domino into this.
Sounds good. So that I think takes us to the list of the things that were on the agenda. And so is there anything else we think we should chat about this week?
Yeah, I'd love to throw somewhat in line with that last one up. I know there's not a lot of people here, but it's worth maybe just saying, and then we can start this conversation, start the thoughts, this is technically a node.js group right now, right? Package maintenance team. Now that we have the package metadata interoperability group in OpenJS Foundation, could we move this group there officially now that there's more of a place for it, or maybe start with moving a work stream? I think a part of that would be creating finally putting a meeting on the books for that other group, which is something that hasn't been done yet. Any immediate thoughts for that? We definitely are not making a decision in this call.
I think some pieces, like, we kind of figured that I'm not sure about the PKGS create, or like, that's still kind of node related, isn't it?
It is and it isn't. I think Wes was sharing ideas with me along the lines of, like, it originally was node like specific, but there's a wider idea there where if we can determine a set of package JSON fields that are sort of used throughout all packages, Deno, Lime, Node, otherwise, then the tool that we build, maybe it's written in Node, maybe it's written in Rust, maybe it's written in any esoteric language you want it to be, then that tool can generate the base package for all runtimes. And then from there, we could, maybe the first target is building the node extension for that, where then you can then build node specific packages,
Right.
Create, and then eventually a Deno one could be added, or in general, depending on the organization of how we determine package JSON fields are like, maybe it's something along the lines of like a winter CG create or something like that. So lots of options there. I think that's kind of where we're like just ideas right now. If we can build, I think regardless if we build that here or there, that's going to be the way we do it. Now that we have Winter CG and OpenJS Foundation metadata group.
So I'm like, wherever is the best place for something to happen personally, that's good. I'd almost look at there's the goals for the package maintenance team. And if that new group says like, hey, those are the same goals, but this is a slightly more neutral place, then like, sounds good. But if it's like the goals are a small subset, then, maybe it's not move, it's more of a like move submissions.
Cool. I think, okay,
go ahead.
cool. Oh, I was gonna say I think then that's I think I'm also in agreement there. Or like, let's start with let's move one thing over. And then if all of a sudden package maintenance group is just not doing anything anymore because the one thing that was keeping this, keeping this team sort of like operating, then great, we shut it down or we keep it around and say, if other tasks come up that fit these goals better in Node.js specific, then cool, we have the framework here for that to start up again.
Yeah, definitely like I think it'd be good to like get the other group up and meeting and like you said, take over at least one thing. Then I think it'll be an easy thing to say, yeah, okay, all the work belongs over there. We're not talking about anything. I'd be happy to like no longer set up these meetings. So.
All righty.
Okay.
Sounds great. That's a great start to this chat. I think we'll continue this thing. We don't need an official issue just yet. I think let me get the other group rolling. It'll take me personally a minute to do that. And then once that's rolling, I think we'll have a more motivation to formally do whatever.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if we can get a bigger group of people showing up, that would be great. So
cool.
Okay, any other topics we should chat about? If not, okay, well, thanks for coming. Thanks for anybody who's watching on the YouTube channel, and we'll see everybody in GitHub and next time.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yep, bye.
Everybody.